Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss what is tracer in Pega and what are the different options that are available in tracer. Let's get started into the topic. So while we are executing some functionalities, there will be some rules that call in the background. So if you want to know how it's behaving and in which scenario what are the values that get set and in which scenarios what values are not working. To check these things, Pega has given an option called as tracer. You can see tracer symbol over here. It would be with the share symbol. Suppose if a tracer is opened by the same request two times, you will be getting this error. Now I'm closing this because already a tracer has been opened. In tracer, we have something called as line, thread, end, step method, step page, step, status, event type, elapsed, name of the rule set, like the rule is saved in rule set, so in which rule set this particular rule is there. And if you see there is settings icon, if you click that, you can see there are event types to trace and this is events to trace. In Pega, we have many rules. Those rules in the tracer are referred as events. Why those are referred as events, I will be explaining in next video. And we have case type rule, database related rules, data pages, decision tree, decision map, and decision table, declarative rules like declare index, declare trigger, and flow. And UI related rules, you have to select the stream rules. And all those rules will be stored in rule sets. So you have some Pega OOTB rule sets and your application specific rule sets. So if you have a UI rule called as ABC, that is present in Pega OOTB rule set and your application specific rule set. First decide which rule set you want to trace, whether it's a OOTB rule or Pega application specific rule set. Based on that, you have to select this rule set. You have this option called as select all and deselect all, where you can select only required rule sets, and this is enable all rule sets. When this has been given, these checkboxes will be disappear from here. And this is pages to trace. Suppose I have a page called as class page. This is external page, not like PVOK or something, and you want to trace this to see few values. You can click on this, and this is maximum trace events to display. Suppose they have an activity where there are 100 steps and your tracer is getting lost after 5000 steps, because Pega default provides this as 5000, but you want to trace more events in essence, more steps like this. This is one event, like you can see numerical representation over here. And these are like default events to trace. So externally specified like activities and steps in the activity, you want to see when this activity started and ended. And data transforms, in data transforms we have many actions. If you have any queries on data transform, check out my oldest video. And this is exception. Suppose if you want to stop the tracer and you want to see exception, you can give this, and these are when rules. And you know that in Pega we build applications based on some UI kit or some React based UI or something. So if you're using React based UI, you can choose this break conditions. And these general options where you can see Java steps if you want to. And you know that in data transform activities we use variables, local variables, which is specific to the respective rule. So while you are using, you will specify as local dot some variable name. If you want to see what's the value at the execution of the respective step, you will be giving this option. And while tracing some functionality, you think that there is an issue in one of the rule. Suppose it is a decision tree. So it's unnecessary to select all the event types because your tracer will be piled up. You can give this decision tree and you can click OK. And if you start, your settings will be applied. From the next trace, you can see only those values. And this is breakpoints where you can specify a few breakpoints for this respective class name. When an activity is this and you want to break at this step, you can give this so that tracer will be breaked. And this is watch to watch the variables. You can play on this. This remote tracer I already given one video. You can view it. And you have traced something, suppose in production, and you want to analyze that separately. For that, you don't need to wait for the remote user to log in and replicate the scenario every time in the production. You can just save your tracer. If you click on save, it will be saved in some XML format where you can open that directly here. See? So this is all about tracer. Let's see real time how tracer is useful for us with an example. So this is case, and in this case we have some local actions over here. Now I want to click on edit details and I want to change this enrollment ID and click on submit, and I want to see what are the rules that gets invoked in the backend. For that, first I have to click on this, go to tracer and go to settings. And settings, I have given stream rules, flow, declarative pages, and activities and all. Click OK. Now clear the tracer, minimize it, and click on actions, edit details. As the tracer is running, this particular UI loaded slow. I have given some 7. Click submit. As the transaction has been finished, now I'm going to tracer and see in backend many rules gets involved, and these are the name of the rule, and this is the rule set. Still you can see tracing symbol over here. Suppose you want to pause the tracer, you can give pause, but again to trace completely you have to play clear and again click on play. Now I'm pausing the tracer. So if you see around 12,800 steps has been traced over here. This is from first step. Suppose this is activity, and until this step this has been there, and if you want to search any rule you can give control F and you can give like suppose case type example. So here you can see yellow color mark where your search has been matched, so you can scroll directly to that position and you can see that whether it has been called or not. And this is stream rule, this is nothing but UI rule. So stream rule model header dirty. Suppose if I click on this, in backend in our Dev Studio, rule will be open. See UI related rule HTML. That is why it has been denoted as stream rule. And if you see here activity end, so this activity has been finished here, and these are when rules, when begin, when end. And this particular when rule has returned true, and this particular when rule has returned false. You can see that also over here. So this is step, that is status. So in this status you can see whether you have given some exit iteration your when rule or something, and whether that particular when rule has returned any false. And if you see here this activity has been begun, load status dp. So in this there are around 14 steps. For example, I have seen this. So in the first step it has returned false, so this is skip and exit remaining iteration. So it is checking this one rule, as this one rule is true, and we can see here first param dot work page not equal to null, this is false. So this is, as this is false, we are telling to skip this step. That's why first step, after first step it will be executing second step. And if you see here some jump to step is there, so in the third step, as this particular property is null, it was going here to false, which is step, which is fourth step. That's why you can see jump to later step is over here. And many people got doubts and approached me like how to see values of this parameter. For example, here this is a parameter param dot work page not equal to null. So in this particular activity at the start, if you see here, click on this, and you can see here this particular event, as I have said, rule is nothing but event in tracer. So in for this particular event at this step, if you see parameter page name, click on parameter, and you can see the values of parameters here. If you have some local variables, you will get a option called as view local variables over here, and you can see the local variable value over here. Suppose there is a property page list. And in page list we have something called as index, so that's why px is of 1, ps is of 2. So if you have given some iteration concept or defined some iteration, you can see those iterations over here. And here you can see step method is java. So in this activity we have many java step methods, that's why you can see that method. And here this is property set third step, that's why if you see here in third step this is property set, it is specified. So each and everything you can observe this. Suppose you don't want to trace this rule, you have to uncheck in the settings for this Pega process engine what are the rules that are there in the rule set won't be traced. Suppose if you don't want to trace any activities, you just restrict with activities. So it's up to your call to trace all the rules in a rule set or specific rules in the rule set. Based on your criteria, you can play around with the settings. And here if you see, suppose this particular rule, activity n, and if you see here 5.1, 5.0, open this respective rule. Here you can see like in this particular loop, we have another child step. That's why they are specified as 5.1 here. So clear step number also you can observe here. And this time elapsed to execute this rule. You can see this elapsed. This is the time elapsed to execute the respective step in that rule. And this is the thread, thread concept. And like this is the rule count. So in this respective transaction, what is the count of this respective rule? Suppose you can see here in 231 we have called another activity which is 232. In this again we have called another activity which is 233. In this we have called another activity, it is 234. Like that you can check the rules, because this particular 231 is there in many places. So you want to know each and every step of the respective rule. See, in this particular rule, we have got many rules. That's why you can see the count of the rule for this respective transaction. That is given by Pega. We won't be defining anything. Hope you have understood the concept of tracer and how to use it and how we can debug the things. By using these options, we can see some parameter page and all. Suppose this is the value of the page list, you want to check the values of the page list, you can click on this. Suppose you have some PA page you want to check, in this respective step we are setting some value, and in this that value is not there. So at the respective point of time while executing this respective step you want to check the value, you can click on this, you can see this value. So to see the values, you can refer this respective step page feature. Hope you have learned Tracer. It was widely used. I did not make this video as most of the people knows, but later on, many guys have messaged me personally to post a video on Tracer. That's what I did for them. Thanks everyone for making this channel more successful. Please subscribe, share, like, and comment on the videos and provide feedback.